So I was thinking about what I wanted to share today and what I wanted to film and talk about. And it's interesting because I think that usually I'm talking about struggles or difficulties and trying to validate trials and tribulations. But today I actually want to talk about enjoying motherhood and the beauties in motherhood. If this is your first time visiting, my name is Dr. Piper Grant. I am a licensed clinical psychologist. I am a mother of 2 girls, and I am also the founder of Born into Motherhood. In this space, I really seek to validate and affirm all of the things that come up in motherhood, both the beautiful things, the challenges, the hard things, sometimes interweaving data from psychology, while other times just affirming from my own journey in motherhood. Like I said, though, today, instead of talking about data and facts, what I really wanted to talk about was how we enjoy motherhood. I had one of these beautiful evenings last night where the whole family, we were eating together. My girls, they were just like so happy, and bedtime routine went smoothly, and we got to play before bed. And it was just like this really, really beautiful time. And as I'm walking them into their bedroom, my girls share a bedroom. And as I'm walking them into their bedroom to say goodnight and kind of get into bed, I was thinking in my head, man, this feels so good right now. And even as they're getting into bed, my eldest daughter says, Mommy, tonight was such a great night. And I was like, I agree, babe. I totally agree. And the thing about that is that there wasn't anything special. It was a Monday night. It was a school night. We didn't do anything out of the ordinary. But for some reason, there was just that really easy flow. And what sticks out to me about that is actually how I allowed myself to take that in. And I think that's one of the things sometimes in motherhood that we lose is there can be big halts and stops around the challenging moments. And when we sit down with our girlfriends, we might just be like, oh my gosh, this was what was so hard. Or, in therapy, like often we're talking about the challenges and the difficulties within parenting and within mothering and what that means to us as a woman. But like, how often do we give permission to ourselves? And how often, even within friendship circles, do we allow ourselves to be like, this is really fucking awesome. Like, I am having so much fun. I am enjoying my children. I am enjoying this time. I am loving this. Always when we're asking each other, hey, how are you doing? How are the kids? It might be like, oh, they're good, But like, when you sit down and you talk about it, how comfortable are you being in saying like, I am having the best time, or like, we just had such a good night. I'm loving it so much. And I think if we can allow ourselves a little bit more space to just, I'm going to say brag maybe a little bit, or just like relish, maybe that's more of it, like relish in the enjoyment, how much we can like really let that in and interweave that into our lives. And that's going to really like boost us up. I do this practice called Velcroing. And so Velcroing is, and I teach it in my practice to clients of various walks of life and various things that they're facing. And it's like this joke in my family now about like, oh, are you Velcroing this moment? But Velcroing is this tool where we really allow ourselves to take in and lock in the positive. And so what that looks like is when something positive is happening, let me back up. The reason why this is really important, actually, is because when negative things happen to us, whether they're fearful, whether they're sad, whether they're bad, whatever it is, but when negative things happen, our body has a somatic response. And it has to remember that. It's important. Why it has that somatic response is it's important for our body to remember this moment so that in the future we can try to avoid it by whatever means that means, by the environment, by the people, by the situation, whatever. So there's actually a value to having this somatic response to something that is bad. What that means, though, is our body often can store the negative much more in the forefront. I'm simplifying it, but it stores the negative much more in the forefront versus the positive. When the positive happens, we can have this like really great, somatic experience to it and response to it, but it doesn't stick in the same way because it doesn't have this evolutionary need, if we kind of want to say it in a sense, because it was good. It wasn't a threat. We don't need to avoid that. Instead, we kind of want to go back to that. And I always think about this idea of like, if you're in partnership and you have a fight with your partner, you will remember that fight 5 days later. I can see couples 2 weeks after a fight and they can still have this response happen in their body when they're talking about it. Versus a positive experience. Let's say they go out on a date and it's really great. We can be talking about that 2 weeks later and they might be telling me, oh, it was really fun. Yeah, gosh, I don't even remember, like, what did we do? I don't remember what I ate. but yet it was such a positive and meaningful experience for them. And so we don't lock in the positive as much as we lock in the negative. So coming back around, I didn't lose us here. So when we Velcro something, the intention is to help our body remember, hey, this is really good. This feels really good. And what a Velcroing experience is that you pause and you can say it out loud, or you can just say it internally. I just say it internally. And we just say, I'm going to Velcro this moment. And what I do is I put my hands to my chest and to my belly. But really, you can touch wherever you want to. But that touch, that somatic, like feedback is going to be really important, because what it's going to do, it's going to give a little bit of a sensory feedback to the system to be like, oh yeah, we feel this, we're locking this in. And so when I was walking into my kid's bedroom last night, and I was thinking, gosh, this feels really good, I just had a moment walking in so easily, and I just said, I'm just going to Velcro this. Because so many times bedtime has felt difficult for me, or I've been exhausted, or I'm like, come on, please just brush your teeth. Let's get into bed. That's literally how I feel sometimes, And yet here was this moment that was so simple and so easy. And when I Velcro it, it helps me remember, hey, it can go this way. It can be easy. There can be ease. And so I hope that you find some moments in which you're able to Velcro and carry them with positivity. And so that even in this journey, like through the challenging moments, we can also remember the really beautiful moments, the easy moments, the moments that are filled with joy, the peaceful moments. And they're not even big. It's not like, again, celebrations or birthdays, but it's like just sometimes those like really simple, quiet moments where you might all be eating together and you're like, gosh, this feels really good. And just Velcro it. Give yourself the gift of a Velcro. Thank you for joining me today. I hope to see you next week. Bye.